All right. Hello, everybody. After about 2.5 hours of technical difficulties, we are finally able to get up and moving. So welcome to the Early Childhood Physical Activity Workshop for the annual food program training requirement. My name is Karen. I will be the one presenting this training. This training will also be presented in the September classroom-based training as well. So if you're not able to make it through this training, feel free to join us then. The date and time and location is on the postcard that was sent home to you. This training will be about an hour to an hour and a half to complete, and you will have some homework at the end. So make sure you stay with us the whole time, and let's go ahead and get things started. All right, so again, my name is Karen. I have been with the Child Care Council for about 3 years now, and I've been with the food program department for about 6 months. I started out helping with monitor visits once Beverly left, and I believe I saw most of your programs. Now that we have Lindsay on board, I'm no longer doing monitor visits. I'm actually responsible for the new program sign-up. I am a credentialed trainer through NACCE, which is the National Association for the Education of Young Children. I graduated from MVCC and then went on to get my bachelor's from SUNY Cortland. I have one very rambunctious, almost 4-year-old, 2 dogs, a husband of 6 years who might as well be a second child. All right, so just a few quick reminders when it comes to the food program. We are seeing a lot of processed meats. We're seeing this way too much. Processed meats can only be served 2 times a week. So this includes your hot dogs, your sausages, your deli meats, chicken nuggets, pepperoni, anything like that. If we see it more than twice a week, it's going to be disallowed. All right, so there is a new crediting book as of June. If you would like a copy, please let us know. This book does have a list of all the processed meats in it and the foods that are not CACFP credible. Your attendance and menus need to be accurate, and they need to be done on a daily basis. Your attendance, you're putting us in a hard spot. You're putting us in a bit of a pickle. When your attendance comes in, we are seeing providers that are over capacity. And this overcapacity might only be for about 10 minutes, but you are still going over. And it puts us in a hard spot because do we notify your licensor or your case manager, or do we let it slide? So just keep in mind that we are able to see that, and if it is a continuous issue, we will notify your licensor. And your menus do need to be completed on a daily basis. If your monitor, Lindsay, comes out and she sees that your menus are not done, meals will be disallowed. All right. Starting soon, if your menus are not done in Kid Care or Minute Menu by midnight, you will be kicked out. This is still a work in progress. More details on that will be coming up in the next couple of months. If you are closed for the day, you must let us know. You signed an agreement that said you would tell us. Call us, email us, whatever you got to do. In Kid Care, there is a calendar option to tell us that you're closed. You have to let us know. We are wasting our time and our resources if we come out and you're not home when you're supposed to be. Lindsay's contact information and my contact information will be listed at the end of the PowerPoint. All right, and this is Lindsay. She is our new monitor in case you haven't seen her yet. She comes to us from Mohawk Valley Community Action Agency, and we are super excited to have her on board, and there's her picture. All right, so now on to the training. All of the information in this training was originally developed by Dr. Diane Kraft. She is a professor of adaptive physical education down at SUNY Cortland. I actually had her as the professor when I went there. She is such a nice person and so full of knowledge. She is definitely like the guru for physical education in the classroom. Dr. Kraft is amazing in the fact that she responds to you. I sent her an email while I was creating this training, and she responded to me within a couple of hours. But she also called me right after she sent the email, and she was in Iceland. Yes, I said Iceland, like on the other side of the planet, and she managed to make time to contact me. So she is awesome. So if you ever have any questions, feel free to look up her information on the SUNY Cortland website and send her an email. She will definitely get back to you. All right. So some of our objectives for this webinar, we are going to define the physical activity terms. We're going to highlight the benefits of physical activity. We're going to discuss some of the perceived barriers about leading physical activity, and we're going to share some ideas that overcome these barriers. So physical activity is defined as movement that increases heart rate and breathing above what it would be if a child was sitting or resting. So some examples are walking, running, crawling, climbing, jumping, and dancing. So basically, play increases breathing, and ultimately our goal in a childcare setting is there's 15 minutes of play for every hour of care. So it's also super important to remember that your skill level doesn't matter. To the kids, you are awesome. All right, so some hints for leading physical activity. You want to make sure you have enough space for everyone to play together. This includes all of your kids, from your infants and toddlers all the way up to your school agers. You want to lead a physical activity break frequently and make sure all the children are not sitting for more than 45 minutes. So that comes back around. We want 15 minutes for every hour that they're in care. Make sure you participate at your own comfort level. Obviously, if you have a broken leg, you are not going to be doing jumping jacks with the kids. So make sure you participate at your own level. Keep everyone engaged and keep it fun. Remember, to the kids, you are awesome. It doesn't matter how goofy you look, you are awesome to the kids. So active play. Active play is defined as large muscle movements that allow children to be able to run, skip, hop, and jump without limitations. If the children are in your program are anything like my son, this is all they do all day, every day: running, skipping, hopping, and jumping. So structured physical activity is adult-led physical activity that promotes large muscle movements and is designed so all children are active participants. Head Start typically refers to structured activities as those that are intentionally planned and facilitated by an informed adult. An informed adult meaning the adult knows the purpose of the activity and knows that there's more to the activity than there's more to it than just shaking your sillies out and jumping. There's actual science behind it and developmental issues behind it. So unstructured physical activity. Play is actually defined as a process that is freely chosen, personally directed, and intrinsically motivated. So the children are choosing it for themselves. Unstructured physical activity is defined as free play, involving movements that increase the heart rate and the breathing above normal resting levels. So basically, the children are choosing what they want to play, and it's increasing their heart rate and their breathing above resting levels. And again, if your children are anything like my son, they're choosing to run, hop, skip, and jump. So sedentary activity, also called inactive time. Sedentary activity is defined as quiet time, which can include reading, nap time, sitting down for a meal, coloring a picture, circle time, anything where the children are sitting. And sedentary behavior doesn't increase the heart rate above that or sitting or resting. Okay, so there are some physical activity standards. The book in the upper right-hand corner called Caring for Our Children, it's actually in the 3rd edition, states that children need the following. There's actually 5 standards that they say we need to follow. Children need active opportunities for physical activity. So it's not just a one and done type thing during the day. You have to do it several times throughout the day. Children need to be outside. They need that fresh air. They need that free space. Teachers and caregivers need to encourage physical activity. And providers need to provide policies and have practices that promote physical activity. The Center for Disease Control, the CDC, actually doesn't have its own standards for early childhood settings. Instead, they actually rely on those standards that I just read to you. Again, there's a picture in the top right corner. This book has actually been around since 1992, and it is in its 3rd edition. And it contains all the standards for health and safety topics. Actually, anything that has to do with obesity prevention-related standards, including those for physical activity, nutrition, breastfeeding support, and screen time, are also published, but as a standalone document. So the benefits of physical activity. Oh, and we have to protect from air pollution. The benefits of physical activity. There's social emotional benefits, physical and developmental, and health benefits. The health benefits including weight regulation, cognitive development, and self-concept. So some of the additional benefits when it comes to the adult worksite wellness. So physical activity actually enhances adult wellness when providers engage in physical activity with the children. Notice it says with the children in big letters. It helps to reduce stress, it helps to use your time efficiently, and it's fun most of the time. So this picture here on the left-hand side is a picture of a child's brain when they're sitting quietly. So there's a lot of blue, there's not a lot of activity going on in this brain. The brain on the right side is actually a scan of a brain 20 minutes after a walk. You can see there's a lot of red, there's a lot of blue, there's a lot of green, there's a lot of stuff going on in this brain. More colors mean there's more going on in the brain, which means they're able to absorb more information. So you're better off doing circle time after a 10-minute walk because the brains are going to be functioning more. I even noticed this with my work ethic in the office too. I feel much more motivated and much more attentive after I take a walk around the building. All right, so I'm going to throw a lot of big sciencey words at you, and I'm going to apologize in advance for that. I also hope that I pronounce everything correctly on this slide. So when you are doing physical activity, your brain loves it. So let's see here. You've got chemicals that are being released for repairing neurons and injury and degeneration. Your hormones are growing brain cells and regulating your mood and your mental clarity. Your endorphins are being released. You've got serotonin that's enhancing your mood. The blood flow to the brain is delivering more oxygen and nutrients, which is helping to regulate everything. You've got dopamine being released, which improves motivation and focus. So your brain loves to work out. Your brain loves physical activity. And physical activity, because it increases brain activity, actually reduces dementia. So basically you need to move it or lose it when it comes to your brain. And nobody wants to lose that. So some of the perceived barriers to leading physical activity, a lot of providers tell us they have limited space, equipment, funds, and time. They've got diverse ages. They've got children in their programs from 6 weeks all the way up to school age, and obviously all the skills that come along with those ages. Some providers don't feel comfortable doing physical activities. They have that privacy in a crowd type feeling. They don't want anybody looking at them. And some providers just have a lack of knowledge regarding developmentally appropriate physical activity. Don't let these excuses get the best of you. To the kids, you are awesome. And if for any reason you want the child care council to come out and help you and look at your site and see if we can do anything with you to help you, maybe move your room around or just come out and do a physical activity with the kids, let us know. Again, my contact information is at the end of the PowerPoint. So it's important to infuse physical activities throughout the day. Outdoor play, classroom activities, indoor physical activity center, so having a designated area, a designated room for gross motor, adult-led activities, transitions can be made into physical activities, and making sure that physical activity is the default. All right, so here are some of the fundamental movement skills. So there's locomotor skills, which is the movement, the walking, the running, the jumping, the galloping, the skipping. Then there's object control, so the throwing, the catching, the striking, the dribbling. And stability, so being on the axle and balancing. So did you know that there's actually 3 different stages on learning how to throw a ball? So the initial stage is when there's minimal power to it. They're pushing it, sometimes it's dropping behind them. This is from like 1 to 3 years of age. There's not a lot of power, and again, they're just kind of pushing the ball. They're not really throwing it, and it might only go 1 or 2 feet in front of them. Then you have the elementary stage, which is from 3 to 6 years old, and a lot of times it's kind of got the attitude of, I don't want her on my team, they throw like a girl. So there's a little bit of power behind it. It's still not going far. Maybe it's going 5 to 10 feet instead. They're stepping with the same arm that they're throwing with. And like I said, there's not a lot of power behind it still. And then that's about from 3 to 6 years of age. The mature stage is the full follow through. You're stepping with the opposite foot. You've got a lot of power behind it. This doesn't come until the children are 6 to 8 years of age, which is why we need to provide lots of opportunity for the children to have practice with these skills. So again, the ages from 2 to 7 is that developmental stage for the fundamental movement skills. They need lots of practice, and the skillfulness is related to physical activity participation. The children need to practice. Do you think Tom Brady is just that good at football, or Michael Jordan is just that good at basketball, or A-Rod is that good at baseball? No, they had lots of practice, and they had lots of opportunities to practice while they were growing up. All right, so this video is actually a video of Dr. Diane Kraft. She is going to talk about how to use tools to encourage physical activity. These tools are inexpensive. Oops. Maybe we're not going to watch the video. Okay, so we're not going to watch the video. She actually talks about how items are used as a tool to help encourage physical activity. The tools are inexpensive, and she actually talks about how everything is developmentally appropriate for children of all ages. And she talks about ways to differentiate the activity based on something such as religion. One of the activities that I'm going to show you in a little while is actually called swat the fly. And some religions, they don't like to swat flies. They are considered, some sort, not necessarily a place of worship or something that they worship, but they don't like the idea of killing something or swatting something. So they actually change the picture from a fly to a drum. So then they're beating the drum. So there's a lot of different ways that you can change activities to make them unique to your classroom. So working with infants, I am not the most experienced when it comes to working with infants in regards to physical activity. And actually, Dr. Diane Kraft straight up said she is not the best person when it comes to physical activity with infants. Infants need a lot of tactile, so a lot of the touching, crossing the midline. They like to do the airplane and dancing. Tummy time is an absolute must. Dr. Kraft actually recommends anything by Christine Roberts. She is actually a good reference for physical activity relating to infants. So this is actually Dr. Kraft's book. I'm going to get out of the PowerPoint now. This book you can actually purchase on Amazon. It's got a ton of different activities in there with different ways that you can manipulate them for children of all ages, and they're cheap. We're going to go ahead and we're going to watch a couple of videos from her book. I'll try to get the volume to work here. So something as simple as bubble wrap. Bubble wrap is cheap. Bubble wrap is fun. So just let me get the volume all the way up here.
I'm jumping. Would you jump, please? Really nice. This is a great way to have children practice the fundamental movement skill of jumping. Prompt children to bend their knees and lift with their arms as they jump. Help them with the rhythm of jumping by playing lively music with a clear, even beat. For safety, be sure all children move in the same direction and keep their mouths away from the bubble wrap.
All right, so I mean, come on, who doesn't love bubble wrap? And she's talking about the fundamental skill of jumping. So let's look at another one called clean up the floor. This is something that is really simple to do in your programs. You literally are just tying a rope with a sheet and some socks. So let's take a look at this one. I'm sorry, it seems like we're having some technical difficulties yet again. It should play in just a second here. I'm sorry, folks. All right, so we're not going to look at clean up the floor, but clean up the floor again. It's a very simple way to just take a piece of string and tie it to two posts and throw a sock. Have the children just throw it. It's awesome, and it's really easy to do. So let's see if we can come up with another one here. All right, so here's one, easy punching. So this is made with a punch ball balloon from the dollar store. Let's see if we can get this one to work.
Okay. Easy punching gives children many opportunities to practice this skill. See how the ball swings right back to them, ready to be punched or pushed again and again. For easy punching, tie the tether so the ball is at the child's chest height. These two children have changed the activity into a game of toss and catch. The ball is tethered, so even when they miss a catch, they don't have to stop to go get the ball. The ball is really a punch ball balloon, inflated inside a pair of pantyhose and suspended overhead. A ribbon tied to the toe end of the pantyhose makes the tether long enough to use the same setup for kicking, punching, or striking by simply adjusting the tether's length. Using this tethered ball setup means that kicking, punching, or striking can all be enjoyed inside a home or classroom.
All right, so did you hear what she used? She used a punch ball balloon from the dollar store. A 4-pack cost you $1. And then she also used a pair of pantyhose, which also cost you $1. So that whole activity can cost you $1, which is awesome. This is one of my favorite activities. My son actually really enjoys this. It's called Float the Fish. So you're pretty much just saving the fish's life. So let's see what they do here.
All right, let's go save.
I'm sorry, it seems like we're having technical difficulties yet again. I am working on an older laptop, so I do apologize for that. It was the only laptop that I could find that would actually play the DVD. So again, I do apologize for that. Either way, like the whole physical activity book, her book, Active Play, is just full of simple activities that you can do with the children that don't cost a lot of money. Everything is very cost effective. There is one activity that I do want to show you guys because it's awesome. If I can get it up and running, that would be really awesome, computer. I don't know what is going on with this thing, and I do apologize, everyone. Like I said, we've tried for about 2 hours before we even started to try to get everything to work, and it was just one thing after another after another. Earlier, I did reference Swap the Fly also, so I do also want to show you that one if we can. Again, I do apologize, but can you think of children in your program that would love some of these activities? I mean, the bubble wrap, who doesn't love bubble wrap? And that last activity was called clean up or the activity I couldn't show you was called clean up the floor. Not sure if you folks can hear the computer, but it is trying to play the DVD. Here we go. So let's skip the introduction. And even just from these little blurbs, you can see what they're doing. Let's see if we can get Float the Fish to play. All right, so clearly this isn't going to work. and I do apologize for that. But this is a picture of Dr. Kraft's active playbook. Like I said, everything that I was going to show you is included. The DVD is included in that book. You can get her book on Amazon if you would like it. Some of my favorite activities are swat the fly, float the fish, sock tails are a lot of fun, newspaper toss. The newspaper toss is so simple. It's a closed hamper with a hula hoop in it and some pie tins hanging, and the children just throw it. So it's awesome. All right, so now it's time for your homework. The training is pretty much done, but you do have 2 more steps that you have to do. Step number 1, we are asking that you click or type this link into your web, your Internet Explorer, your Firefox, or what your cloud, or whatever it is that you use. I believe you can just copy and paste it from this webinar. If not, go ahead and type it in. Please note that there is an underscore between the SV and the number 2. It's just a quick survey relating to this training. Again, I am so sorry for the technical difficulties that are happening. So it's just a survey about the webinar. If you would like to continue to see web-based trainings, make sure you let us know about that in the survey. Step number 2, in order to get credit for this training and to receive a free copy of Dr. Kraft's book, you need to complete that survey, and you have to send us a picture of the children in your program doing physical activity. You can send the picture to us via mail or email. Again, our email will be at the end of the slideshow. All you have to do is send us a picture and complete the survey. That's it. That's your homework. It's that simple. Once you do those 2 things, you get a free copy of Dr. Kraft's book that has the DVD in it. I mean, that's awesome. It's so simple. You just do the survey and you send us a picture. Now, when it comes to the picture, make sure that you have your photo releases done or only show just the back of the children's heads. Just keep in mind, we know what your programs look like. We know some of the materials that are in your program and what some of your furniture looks like. So please don't just go and Google a picture and send it to us, because you will not receive credit for it. So once we receive the survey and once we receive your picture, we will send you the book and we will send you your certificate with your training hours. If for any reason you do have trouble with this link, please let Lindsay or I know and we will send it to you another way. So here's our contact information. Again, my name is Karen. My information is on the left. So my phone number is 315-223-7850. My extension is 233. My email is keb99@cornell.edu. Lindsay is our monitor. Her contact information is on the right. So her phone number is 315-736-3394. Her extension is 119. Her email is lab369@cornell.edu. Feel free to leave us messages if we don't answer the phone. We do respond within 24 hours. So feel free to leave us messages. Send us emails. It's the same thing with emails. You have to respond within 24 hours. So that is the end of the training. Again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to contact us. And make sure you get the survey done and get us those pictures as soon as possible, okay? All right, thank you, everyone. Have a great